Popcorn, Piss, and Vinegar, giving you a raw take on movies, television, and pop culture. My name's Chris.
My name happens to be Scott.
My name is incidentally JB4.
Hey. All right, so look, let's not fuck around. We got plenty to cover today.
Wait, let me ask you, have you seen Spider-Man yet?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
All right.
I'm going to see it. Dude, I'm sorry, man. Life happens, man. Got a lot of shit going on.
All right.
I'm seeing Apes on Tuesday, and I'm seeing Spider-Man on Wednesday, so I'll see it by next time we meet up here.
All right.
So
we meet again.
Killing me.
All right, speaking of apes, in what was thought to be a lackluster opening, War for the Planet of the Apes beat Spider-Man for the weekend, grossing $56.5 million to Spider-Man's $45.4 million. It is the second best opening for the franchise. The second installment opened with $72 million.
Wow, they're saying that's the best of the bunch, too.
Yeah, well, I think the thing with it is the last Apes movie wasn't really up against anything compared to now. I mean, like, the schedule is so jammed because Apes 2 came out in 2014.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're talking 3 years ago, and 2015 is when shit, like, really started ramping, you know, with Star Wars and the multiple Marvel sequels and all that different stuff. So, yeah, so, I mean, it's pretty fucking crazy.
I mean, it's still disappointing, but I guess I better see it in the theater while I can.
I don't know, man. I mean, I think it
has legs.
Oh, it's got legs. I mean, it's got, and it goes to show you once again that critic sites mean a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's another movie. 2 weeks in a row, you have what's called certified fresh movies on Rotten Tomatoes, both Spider-Man and War for the Planet of the Apes. So,
Gotcha.
There you go. All right, Nelson Ellis, who portrayed Lafayette on HBO's True Blood, died at 39 years old from heart failure. His other credits include The Help, his role as singer Bobby Bird in the James Brown biopic Get On Up, and also a recurring role on Elementary, which he appeared on 11 episodes before his death.
Sucks.
Yeah, it really sucks, man. I mean, he's got like 4 kids. So, I mean, you see a young guy go like that, and I'm sure that this isn't going to be the last time you hear about this. I mean, when a guy like that goes that young, you know, there's going to be a lot of investigation and curiosity.
He was great in True Blood. The only part of the series I ended up liking by the end of the first season.
I liked the first season of True Blood, and then it went off the rails after that.
Way off the rails.
But I like his character.
Oh, yeah.
The Lafayette character. He was pretty awesome. Legendary comic book artist Todd McFarlane says he has a script to a movie based on his successful character Spawn, but he has no interest in selling it to any studio unless he can write, produce, and direct. He also said that his terms are non-negotiable. So, in other words, what he's trying to say is that Spawn's never going to get made. Because just because you're good at one thing doesn't mean you're good at everything else.
No, I mean, I don't know if you saw the interview with him, but he actually did qualify it as he thinks he can make it for $11 million, which, I mean, by superhero standards is cheap. So, you know, I mean, he's
How in
aware.
the fuck is he going to make that movie for $11 million? How?
There's ways.
Dude, the characters from hell. I mean, all the visual effects. $11 million.
I guess.
All right, so he smoked crack during that part of the interview, also.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, hey, look, and who knows? Maybe Todd McFarlane is some diamond in the rough. You know, maybe he's some director extraordinaire that we don't even know about. But you know, Hollywood's going to base itself on the sure thing and not feel good economics. I mean, they're going to do what's going to make the money. All right, so look, Steven Spielberg was going to have John Williams score Ready Player One, but Williams is already working on another Spielberg movie that has prevented him from doing both. Ready Player One will now be scored by Alan Silvestri, who I guess is kind of best known for his Avengers and Marvel. I mean, other stuff he's done.
Back to the Future.
Yeah, Back to the Future.
Unquestionably.
Yeah, I mean, he's done the Back to the Future. He's done the Marvel stuff.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit, if I'm not
That
mistaken.
is true. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, he did that one too.
Great score.
So, and what's really crazy is for a guy that's written such incredibly great scores, how unmemorable the Avengers score is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
It is. I mean, I don't remember any of the cues at all.
In hopes to capitalize on the success of its first 2 seasons, Manu Bennett has been announced to return as Deathstroke in Arrow Season 6. So, I don't know.
I guess they got to bring that character back somehow, since it's probably not going to be in the Matt Reeves movie.
Well, he was locked up at the end of season 1 or 2, right?
Season 2. They locked him up on the island at the end, and
who was taking care of him all this time?
I don't know. I haven't. dropped through the last season of Arrow and Flash, and I haven't caught up. Just had other
He's
shit
back,
going
though.
on.
They showed like a preview of him back on
Yeah.
Arrow. So
No, there you go.
Christopher Nolan has been doing pressers for the excellently reviewed Dunkirk. During a recent interview, he says that he will likely never direct another superhero movie and would be open to directing a James Bond movie should they wish to do a reinvention of the franchise. And I think that's
Do it.
coming. I think that's coming soon, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, on the one hand, that intrigues me. On the other hand, that's pretty much what Sam Mendes did for Skyfall. I mean, he literally said, "I was inspired by The Dark Knight, and I wanted to reboot the franchise." So, interesting. He'll have to reboot from an aesthetic that he inspired.
I think that if you're going to do Bond, what they need to do is I don't like this idea that people have been suggesting where James Bond is kind of like this identity that's passed from person to person. I don't like that. I think what they should do is get a younger actor. They should lock it down, to lock him down to probably 3 to 5 movies and come up with an arc just for him. And then it's a building mythology. It's no different than comic books. I mean, Batman has been, in his late 20s to early 30s in the canon for fucking over 70 years. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's really no different than building a comic book character. Woody Harrelson has spoken out on the replacement of Lord and Miller. "Oh, you relax, man. The Force is with us. Ron is great. He is such a gentleman and prepared. I love Phil and Chris, but I think we've landed in very capable hands."
That is the perfect politically correct answer.
But
And
it's
that's
very Woody Harrelson.
It
too.
is.
Yeah. I imagine him being very fucking high when he said that. So,
Didn't he say he quit smoking to do this movie?
He quit smoking.
yeah, he quit smoking. He didn't quit eating.
Yeah.
So,
Ingestibles.
The Hollywood Reporter obtained emails sent by Frank Darabont, who was the original showrunner of The Walking Dead. These emails were sent to producers and writers before he left the show. "Fuck you all for giving me chest pains because of the staggering fucking incompetence, blindness to the important beats, and the beyond arrogant lack of regard for what is written being exhibited on set every day. I deserve better than a heart attack because people are too stupid to read a script and understand the words. Does anybody disagree with me? Then join the CCAM operator and go find another job that doesn't involve deliberately fucking up my show scene by scene." So that was one of the emails found.
So poetic.
Here's another one,
is.
too, that deals with his frustrations because apparently he had to kind of wear many hats when he was on the show. "Please, let's stop invoking the writer's room. There is no writer's room, which you know as well as I do. I am the writer's room. The fucking lazy assholes who were supposedly going to be my showrunners threw that responsibility on me after wasting 5 months of my time."
Wow.
So there's been a lot of controversy with the whole Frank Darabont thing when he left the show, and I mean it was pretty ugly when he left, but now as shit floats to the top as it always does eventually.
Well, I mean, like in contrast to season 1, season 2, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
I mean that would be my criticism of season 2, and it looks like they, corrected the course of the ship and ultimately ended up doing what Frank Darabont said they should have done from the drop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Season 2 sucked.
Yeah.
And then season 3 got a little bit better, and then 4 and 5 were fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
And it's been back on a dip, but every time we get it now, there's a whole, this is going to be, back to where it was and all that shit, but there it is. There's some good episodes, but on the whole, there's a lot of boring shit in that show now, but I'm invested and I'm in on it. In talking about the future moving forward with Walking Dead, there was a tragedy that struck the set of season 8 when stuntman John Bernecker, he fell 20 feet. He sustained a head injury, and they brought him to the hospital later, and he did in fact die.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, that's horrible, man.
I had also heard he's from here.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh man, that sucks, man.
Yeah, they
So-
shut down production.
Yeah,
the whole
yeah.
day. The whole yeah.
Yeah, they said that they don't know whether it's gonna if it's gonna actually delay the show because they said that they didn't shut down production for the day. They say it's kind of temporarily suspended.
Right, that's what I meant.
So-
Another weird news that I heard was, and I don't know how true it is, but supposedly he was a stuntman for D, like the guy with his burned face. So like that was supposed to be D falling off of a ledge or whatever like
Oh.
that. And
Oh,
So are
God.
they going to rewrite it?
I don't know. I don't know if that was maybe a I know it's terrible to say, but maybe that's a spoiler of things that come for D.
Yeah. Fuck, who knows, man? But yeah, that's just tragic, man. I mean,
Jesus.
these stuntmen do some crazy shit, and I mean, a lot of those guys. I mean, I've heard stories about them from people that when the big movie productions were really happening down here a lot. They say a lot of those guys, man, are just like they're fucking daredevils. They're just nuts, man.
At least he did on a positive note. That dude died doing what he does.
loved.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it wasn't like he was going home and got struck by lightning, or sitting on his couch and had a heart attack.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, true.
Or got
He was
or got punched in the back of the head on Bourbon Street and fucking robbed. You
Right.
know?
You
So
know.
there it is. All right, while promoting Planet of the Apes, Matt Reeves reveals that he has no intention of rebooting the original movies, which the current films are prequels to. He said that if they wish to continue the franchise, there are stories that can revolve around Caesar uniting other tribes of apes that have been fighting their own wars and haven't been exposed to his leadership. He also covered his upcoming Batman movie that will be released in 2019. He said that Ben Affleck will play Batman, and he is starting from scratch.
Yeah.
So-
So
That's smart.
no,
Yeah, absolutely.
he
It's smart.
doesn't. He also hasn't cued that we're going to get a Deathstroke in this film, like as previously reported.
I think the Deathstroke's done.
Yeah.
I think
You
that I think he's going to go. I think he's going to go old school Batman.
Yeah. He's being smart, man.
Yeah.
He's which is further evidence that they're shaking off Zack Snyder
Or at least
He's-
that
like a dog
direction.
does fleas.
He's done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's done. He's never to return. I mean, Zach, we're sorry for your loss. We thank you for your service, but you should move on and do your own thing now after you cope with your loss. All right, casting calls have begun for Avengers 4, and they are looking for Asian actors to cast as Yakuza, which is now starting rumors that The Hand from Netflix Daredevil will finally be intersecting with the movies.
Is Yakuza a character? Or is Yakuza the
Yakuza
mob?
is the Japanese mob.
Yeah. Okay.
But they later they appear in the Netflix series, but they're later revealed to be The Hand. So
Oh, it's one and the same.
yeah, well the
Okay.
Yakuza that was the front. Oh yeah, we're the Yakuza, but the whole time they're actually The Hand. So
The Yakuza is a front.
yeah.
The mafia usually has fronts for the mafia.
Well,
so
it's like one of those things. It's like, Dean Wormer putting you on double secret probation.
Right.
There's probation, and then there's the probation you didn't know about. That's the real, sick shit. That's part of the bylaws. That's like The Hand.
It's the front behind the front.
It's the
behind
front,
the
right,
front.
behind the front. Exactly. All right, Quentin Tarantino has announced that his next movie will be his take on the Manson family murders. The rumor is that Margot Robbie and Jennifer Lawrence are the top choices to play Sharon Tate. Tate's sister Deborah has said that despite her harsh opinion, Lawrence isn't pretty enough to portray her sister. And she has her standards when it considers, a portrayal of her sister.
Does she have sway on the casting, or is that just her?
No, I think that's just her opinion.
Oh wow.
So,
Okay.
I mean, I'm sure that Quentin is going to interview all those people if he's. I mean, this is kind of his first biopic, right? I mean, as far as something being based on real shit, right?
I
I
believe
think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, if he's going to do something like that, I have no doubt he's going to do the research and he's going to try to get all the information he can,
Yeah.
when it comes to that kind of shit.
But
so.
at the end of the day, he's going to make a Tarantino movie.
Oh, without question.
Oh, well, no doubt. I mean, he's going to inject his style, but I mean, really, truthfully, I mean, I like Margot Robbie. I think she's
do I.
I think she's a good actress.
I
But
like
I tell
Jennifer
you,
Lawrence.
J Law's a bad motherfucker, dude.
She can
And,
act.
Yeah, she can act her ass off, man.
Yeah. And she's a beautiful woman. I honestly don't know. Like, it's just, you know what? It's the idealizing grief speaking, I think.
The J Law,
It's very personal.
No one's pretty enough to play my sister kind
Right.
of thing.
the J Law top 3: Silver Linings Playbook, Joy, and American Hustle. That just lays out that why J Law is the shit.
Perfectly suited for a Tarantino movie.
Yeah, right. No doubt. No doubt. All right, the BBC has announced their 13th Doctor. Jodie Whittaker will be the next Doctor Who and will be the first female to step into the role. Fan support has been very vocal over the years, and finally handing the reins over to a woman. The idea has been teased, since the 10th season. Whittaker is a staple on British television, including Black Mirror, and has worked in the past with new Doctor Who showrunner Chris Chibnall. Whittaker takes over the TARDIS in December when she takes over for Peter Capaldi at the end of the Doctor Who Christmas special. And you all also said she was in Attack the Block, right? She was in that movie as well.
She was also in that.
A great film. If no one's watched it who's listening, be sure to check that movie out.
Also, John Boyega from Star Wars is in that as well.
That's his debut.
And that Black Mirror episode might be my favorite Black Mirror episode ever.
It's, definitely in my top 3.
So.
Yeah, I would put it in top 3. Definitely. You are listening to Popcorn, Piss, and Vinegar.
Television.
Movies.
Pop culture.
Keep up with the latest news from Luke Skywalker all the way to Batman.
From Netflix to the CW.
And all the news in between.
Please subscribe and rate us on iTunes.
Or stream our episodes from PPVGuys.com.
You can also find us on Facebook and Twitter at PPVGuys.
Check out our friends Not Real Radio at NotRealRadio.com for our segment Not Real Movie News.
Should you listen to more? Yes. Will you agree? Maybe.
Jury's out.
Indeed.
Thank you for listening.
And action. All right, so our show topic today: conventions. Always July, right?
Not
We're stuck with
work convention, huh?
We're stuck with D23, and then I think next week we got Comic-Con.
It's
so
2
we
weeks.
Gotta,
Is it
2
2
weeks,
weeks?
yeah. So we got Comic-Con that's coming up shortly after that. But I have a feeling that Comic-Con we're not going to have as much to cover because Disney has already said that they, did the unmanly thing by pulling out. So.
And decided to just spread seed all over the place.
Yeah, right. Well, they're going to spread seed in their own convention and all that.
They pulled
shit.
out early.
Yeah, they pulled out early, and they jacked
Shot
off
their load. Yeah.
They jacked off all over Anaheim. So,
Jesus.
but yeah, they're saying that D23 is going to kind of be their new thing that they're going to try to push as their own convention. And I'm willing to bet what's going to end up happening is you'll see them do switch offs. D23 they say is only going to be every other year.
When's that?
Starting now. The next one won't be until 2019.
Oh, all right.
So they're only doing them every other year. So I would imagine that they're probably going to put themselves in Comic-Con on the off years. So
that's kind of smart, actually.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah, spread the love.
Yeah.
So
also based on the news we're about to blow, it makes sense that in 2 years the next D23 is going to be even bigger because of just the things that you're announcing today.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. So, well, let's jump into it. We'll start on to the Disney segment of D23. And I really like this ceremony. It's called Disney Legends.
Yeah.
And what they do is that they take actors and staff from their company. They cast their hands in cement, and they put the cement out in the Hollywood theme park. I think it's the one in L.A., and it's kind of like the Disney Hall of Fame, so to speak.
Oh, cool.
This is their recipients, the notable recipients. There were 11 total. Some I left off because they kind of fall more into technical categories as far as animators and publishers and things like that. But here are the biggies. Mark Hamill, he was inducted, so Luke Skywalker. Princess Leia, Carrie Fisher, was added posthumously, as was Jack Kirby, who was legendary Marvel publisher. I mean, Stan Lee and him pretty much like carved the ground.
Yeah.
They carved the whole way for the original Marvel, for the whole original Marvel lineup. So
sweet.
X-Men, Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, and a lot of shit for DC. Kirby was responsible for that stuff. Whoopi Goldberg was added. She's been on the ABC show, her View show. So she was added in.
Weird choice.
Well, I mean, it's all Disney.
It's all Disney.
ABC.
Okay, fair enough.
Also, Oprah Winfrey was added because her show ran on ABC when she was when she had a regular talk show.
Holy shit! That trailer for that movie that she's in.
Wrinkle in Time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. And also another person that was added also is Julie Taymor, who is the director of the theatrical release of The Lion King. The theater release, the Broadway.
The Broadway.
So yeah. So they all got added in as Disney legends, and I think that's really fucking cool.
She's a great director.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so a trailer was shown for Mary Poppins Returns. Emily Blunt was shown in a classic recreation of Mary's flight, interacting with animated animals and engaging in a dance number with Dick Van Dyke, and they saying this thing drew a massive applause.
Yeah,
which
people
is
lost their shit when
That's
that came
encouraging.
on.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty crazy. I mean, I remember seeing it when I was a kid, but
Yeah.
it's not anything that I've ever really returned to.
Well,
but it's cool that there's enthusiasm
It's
for
not.
it. That's great.
It's not necessarily a reboot. It is sort of so it's Mary Poppins Returns. She returns. I think it's 30 years after the original film, and she goes to. There's like a tragedy in the family of the kids that Mary Poppins helps in the first film, and she comes back to sort of help the kids and the family deal with this new tragedy.
So this one's going to take place in the 60s because the original one took place in the 30s.
35, I think.
Yeah, so this will be in 65. Wouldn't that be great if the kids were all like fucking dope smoking hippies? That'd be the shit. I mean, it's a little early for that, but I mean, as far as like era is concerned, but that'd be great.
I mean, it'll be interesting to see which part of the 60s they pick,
Right.
Yeah, if it
It's
is
Disney. I think they'll play it a little
Kennedy
safe.
years right before he gets shot.
Well, I mean, if you
It
think
doesn't matter though. I mean, that necessarily doesn't have to play like in the first film. It didn't play. The only thing that it didn't really. It doesn't matter. I don't think.
Well, I mean, and on top of that too is the original movie was filmed in the 60s. So I mean,
Right.
it's easy to take that sensibility and just return it to
Yeah,
what you want to
agreed.
do. So I mean,
Yeah.
that's nothing to it. Jump in 30 years in time and you're good to go. All right, Guy Ritchie's Aladdin is officially cast. Actor and newcomer Mina Massoud will play Aladdin, and Naomi Scott, who starred in Power Rangers, she's going to play Jasmine. And yes, Will Smith is official to play the genie.
So let me say this. So this was announced on what, Saturday?
Yes.
So I think it was on either Thursday or Friday. There was this news leak that Disney's having a problem fulfilling that cast. It was all
Yeah.
over the internet, all
Yeah.
over Twitter, and people were making a big deal about it. Oh, you should do this, you should do this, you should do it. And it just goes to show you, they had it. They were planting seeds of
Oh,
deception,
fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
which I think
dude.
is brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, you say that all the time, man, is that they got people that are hired who are just as plants. That
I
go out
can't
there
wait to
just to
get that
plant
job.
information and do all that shit. So,
To just make shit up.
but
Yeah,
that's
I
the
want
only
that job so
problem, though.
bad.
That's the only problem, though. We'd be able to tell all his tells from a million miles away because, I mean,
Yeah,
Maybe.
but my tells are free. Wait, when they're paying me the bucks to do
Yeah.
it, that's when.
well, that is true because
got-
they're going to kind of tell you what to say.
Right.
So that's pretty much what it is.
He's got lazy tells right now.
yeah.
Throwing some money.
And I think another thing, too, is with those guys, I don't really think it's necessarily anybody really that they hire. I think what it comes down to is they sit there and they look at it.
Yeah.
They look at the people and they sit there and say, okay, what are the big ones? Movie Web, Hollywood Reporter, Variety. They're all the big dirt rags. They plan it to the right, quote-unquote, insiders
Yeah.
to get it to the people who are going to report it as being a rumor or a definite thing.
Well,
So-
I do have to say that there's part of me that's just sort of like Will Smith, and then there's another part of me that's like, I don't know that anyone can fill the shoes of Robin Williams, man. Like,
I trust the process. At this point, I trust the process.
These kind of movies, man, you got to walk into them and say, look, this is someone else's interpretation of the material. You can't hold it up to the original thing. It's like the Lion Book. The Jungle Book. I watched that yesterday on Netflix, and I'm sitting there watching that shit, and I mean, dude, it's fantastic. It's a great movie,
Yeah.
but I love the original just as much as I like the animated one.
Yeah.
As much as I like the new one. I think the new one's better because it gives you more backstory.
Sure.
But I still love the original one, and I don't really judge them against one another. I mean,
No, they're two different things.
Okay.
so
Agree to disagree.
Well,
speaking of the Lion Book, footage was shown of Jon Favreau's Lion King. They say that it was pretty amazing, and it would look like wasn't really clips. All it was the concept art of what the animals and all are going to look like. I mean, if they look the way that they looked in the Jungle Book, it's going to be fucking amazing.
not to
Right.
mention, what are we, like 3 years past that movie? When did that
Yeah.
movie come out?
It came out in 2015, I think.
Okay, so we're 2 years.
It's either
out, so-
15 or 16 it came out. I can't remember. So call Mayday tonight. Fuck, he knows. He's in
I
the
feel
credits.
I feel like this is going to be better. It's going to look better just because the technology's picked up.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what it does, but they didn't announce anything official. But the hot rumor is that they're getting ready to sign Hugh Jackman as Scar,
Yeah.
as the main villain. So
That's
he's
a good get.
Yeah, it is.
yeah, he'll pick up from Jeremy Irons, as the is the main villain. So that's I mean, yeah, it's a big get, and trading in one set of claws for another. All right, Tim Burton announces his cast for Dumbo, which will reunite him with Michael Keaton, Danny DeVito, and Ava Green. Colin Farrell also joins the cast. So, I mean,
I'm going to go on the jury's out side of this one only because of Alice in Wonderland. So
Right.
I never saw Alice in Wonderland. I heard the first one's very good. I heard the second.
Very good.
I heard the
No.
second one is crazy shitty.
The first one's okay, and the second one is crazy shitty.
Well, I do want to see Tim's interpretation of Dumbo's fucking acid trip. I think that's going to be really awesome. Yeah, so
That would be cool.
I'm definitely down with that. Now, no, there is no word of who these actors are what actor is gonna play what or any of that stuff. So, I would imagine that if Dumbo was actually a voiced character, they're gonna get a kid to do that. These just might be the principal adult players in the series. Then there was some talk about a bunch of upgrades to the theme parks. Epcot will receive updates. Future World will be entirely revamped. A Ratatouille attraction will be added to the France attraction, and a Guardians of the Galaxy ride will replace the World of Energy. So it looks like
the Epcot you're talking about is both parks.
Epcot Center, that's in Florida.
That's
the one
in
that's
Florida.
the one that's in the Florida. There is no Epcot in California.
There is, okay.
So there's going to the Epcot in Florida is going to those upgrades for the France Pavilions Ratatouille, Universe of Energy, which I don't even remember.
Terrible.
Yeah,
it's
it used
Ellen
to-
DeGeneres. We went and saw it.
Oh,
It's
that's right.
terrible.
Yeah, that was the dinosaur thing where they did the
Yeah.
thing with the oil. That's going to be replaced by Guardians of the Galaxy.
Perfect.
And then
Perfect.
and then there's going to be the Future World, which is used to be kind of like it was sponsored by one of the telephone companies or something.
AT&T, I believe.
Yeah, they're going to revamp it with all the modern, with a modern take on technology. So all that stuff. So yeah, I mean it's cool. I mean, fuck,
Yeah.
keep it interesting, man. Keep
Absolutely.
give people new shit to see.
I do like that future utopia that we all came to know and love in the 80s, though. It's cool to see.
You mean the
that.
Epcot Center ride where you're just basically taking a break from having walked around the
Yeah.
park?
The Wayward People mover.
Yeah.
But it also inside the ball, it also does that. You go through the future thing, and it's
Inside the ball, what they did was
Spaceship Earth.
Spaceship Earth actually gave you like a world history lesson. The one that you're talking about was in Tomorrowland with the family that progresses through the decades of technology. Is that the one you're talking about?
That's the Wheel of Progress. or
Yeah, the
whatever,
Wheel of Progress.
circled,
Yeah, that was in the Magic
No,
Kingdom.
I'm talking about in Epcot, where you inside Spaceship Earth, where when you get to the future, it's like the future, but it's
Oh yeah. It's like the Jetsons view of what the
Right,
fucking
right.
future would be.
Right.
Yeah, right, exactly. All right, Disney has announced that the Tomorrowland Speedway, which was basically a glorified go-kart, that's going to be tore down, and it's going to be replaced with a light cycle race thing from Tron.
That's awesome.
So
I think Japan
super
has it
fucking
already.
cool. Yeah,
I believe.
they have a different. They say that this is not even going to be Japan. This is something entirely new.
Cool.
It's the same thing with the Guardians of the Galaxy attraction at Epcot. It has nothing to do with the refitted Tower of Terror. This is something
And that's in LA.
entirely new.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So, yeah, pretty cool. We also reported last week that Disney's California Adventure will receive a huge overhaul of feature Marvel. That is true. It's going to feature both Spider-Man and the Avengers. That's going to be their main attraction to that. So, cool
Which is
shit.
so weird, only because of the Spider-Man, because Universal has a Spider-Man ride already as well.
Yeah, but theirs is more based on
old.
this is based on the comics.
I
This is not
understand,
based on a movie.
But
so
it's,
yeah, I mean, when you look at the Spider-Man thing at Universal and you look at the villains that are running around that movie, they look like out of like the 1970s comic books.
yeah,
Right.
it's Doc Ock and
Yeah, and it's like Electro with the big
yeah.
lightning headdress and all that shit. So I mean, there's
Yeah.
no mistaking, the differences between the property. Also, Disney World in Florida is completing a Toy Story Land, which opens in 2018.
what's this gonna be?
They didn't give any details. They just said it's going to be a Toy Story like theme park. So
Wait, it's an actual theme park, or is it gonna
it
be
is
part of?
it is a theme park that is based on Toy Story.
Wow.
Huh.
So, yeah, I mean that opens in 2018. So I mean you're only talking a year away.
No, we're going in the end of the year. I'm gonna check all that shit out.
Moving over to Marvel, a booth featuring costumes and props from Thor 3 and Black Panther was featured along with a full-scale statue of Thanos. Also, moving on to the other deal as well, is they're saying that Marvel's trailer essentially blew the fucking roof off of the entire convention.
You're talking about Infinity War.
Yeah, the
trailer.
Infinity War. It said, unfortunately, it remained a convention exclusive, but many descriptions made it online. The trailer is said to have featured the Guardians of the Galaxy, Thor, Iron Man, Captain America, the Winter Soldier, Black Panther, Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, and Loki. Thanos is also shown hurling a planet at the Avengers.
I heard it was a moon, but
Yeah,
part
so
of a moon.
yeah, that's fucking insane.
yeah. Well, I think
we
the
also-
reason we're not they haven't leaked it is because it sort of contains a spoiler, I guess, for Thor Ragnarok. I'm assuming it's not an Easter egg, Scott, but since you read the same articles I did.
Yeah.
Well, apparently the trailer opens up with the Guardians of the Galaxy, and then basically Thor hits their windshield, like he's
Yeah.
adrift in his Ragnarok,
I mean,
warrior
it's not
outfit.
necessarily a spoiler. I mean, it's just.
I mean,
it shows
you know
Thor.
how you know how Thor Ragnarok ends.
This may, and that scene, to be quite honest, may actually be the end credit scene of.
Yeah, that
Thor.
could be.
Yeah.
That's true. That could be what it is. So,
That would
And,
be,
and
that
I'd
makes
still
sense,
be
yeah.
fine. I'd still be fine with that.
I mean, they've done that before. I mean, the end
Yeah.
scene to Ant-Man was a scene that was cut directly from Captain America 3 from
Right.
Civil War.
Right.
Right.
So,
True.
yeah, so I mean, they've done that in the past.
They also said that Spidey senses appear in this.
Yes.
Yeah,
Cool.
like so Peter Parker's on the bus and shit's going down, and you see like the hair on his arm start to go nuts.
It's pretty cool.
They're also saying that you see a scene with Loki handing the Tesseract
Yes.
over to Thor, and the Tesseract is the power cube from the very first Captain America movie. So they're going back, I mean, way far.
I saw like a 10-second filmed from the audience trailer, and it's like one scene is like this gigantic explosion with Vision being like torn, what looks like torn to pieces, and it
Of
looks
course. They need to get
amazing.
that stone out of his head.
Right. So I don't know, but it looked cool, and the audience was, like Chris said, like the audience was losing. I couldn't even hear what was on screen because the audience were blowing.
Oh
the
yeah,
fuck
yeah.
up.
They said that it blew the roof off of the place. They said it was definitely the most well-received thing at the convention. Also, the other thing that they revealed as well is that Thanos is going to be bringing his other kids along to the family
Yeah.
picnic. They're known as the Black Order, and you can look them up on on anything. It's just Thanos, Infinity War, Black Order, and man, they're fucking wicked looking. And this would be some of the brothers and sisters to Karen Gilliam's character, Nebula, and Gamora, who's played by Zoe Saldana in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, he did like a little rollout, and they showed all the looked like little statues of all the kids, and they brought out the glove with the Infinity Stones, and it's substantially bigger than what Brolin.
Oh yeah,
is.
Brolin had to hold it with two hands.
Right.
Yeah.
I
Like,
mean,
when he put his hand into it, he was like putting his hand inside a cavity of a body.
yeah. Yo, Thanos is a fucking big dude, and if you saw that full-out statue, you can go check that
Yeah.
out also online.
We posted it.
Yeah, they did
Yeah.
the statue standing in proportion to a costumed actor. He's fucking huge, man. So, really cool, man. Looking forward to that shit. It's going to be awesome.
I can't wait.
Pixar came in and they did their little rollout. Brad Bird actually came out and talked a little bit about The Incredibles. He said that it's going to take place right where the last one left off. There's not going to be any time jump or anything. And he said that they might be up to 25 new superheroes that are going to be featured in the movie.
It's fine.
I think that Brad Bird and whoever wrote The Incredibles, they should go write the Fantastic Four movie. Let them do it. Because they understand how a family superhero movie works.
Yeah.
They said it was going to focus more on Holly Hunter as well, on her
Yeah.
character.
Which is really, really cool. So
Yeah.
I like the first one. I thought it was really good. I mean, it's my version. As far as I'm concerned, it's the purest version of the Fantastic Four you have out there.
Yeah, I could agree.
So, all right, John Lasseter, CEO of Disney's animation and director of the last 3 Toy Story movies, will be stepping down as co-director of the 4th movie. He was to share the chair with Josh Cooley, who will now stand as the sole director of the project. Cooley began his career with Pixar as an intern and worked his way up to head story writer for Inside Out before heading to direct what was arguably Pixar's most notable franchise. So I love stories like that, man. Guys who just kind of go out there and, you know, do their thing, and, you know, they get involved in something for the love, intern work for free, and now he's directing fucking Toy Story. I mean, that's unbelievable. So good for that guy, man.
Yeah.
Really cool.
And cool, like John Lasseter seems like a really cool guy as far as letting the people like that come in and do their thing, and like, you know what, dude, you got it. Take it over.
Any guy that shows up to a fan convention and shoots fucking Hawaiian shirts out of an air cannon,
this dude
is I'm down with it.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome. So,
yeah,
good for him. All right, and here comes the biggie, Star Wars.
Oh wait, okay. Because I wanted to make a comment about how they announced like Frozen 2 and all that stuff, and how it's. I just wanted to say that it's Frozen 2. I think they're putting out like in 19, and I kind of feel like that they need to really put that movie out soon before those kids who really fell in love with Frozen are going to be out of love with Frozen 2.
Yeah, I think those kids are going to be right there, man.
And I don't know. My kid is one of them, and in a couple years she's going to be a teenager.
Well, sure. I mean, your kid, but all the 4-year-olds and 5-year-olds.
Yeah,
you know, I mean,
oh, I get it, but I'm just saying that Frozen beast that happened when that movie came out. I don't know that those kids watching it now are the same addicts that the kids that watched it.
I don't think Frozen 2 is going to have any problems in any way, shape, or form.
I don't think so either, but I kind of compare it to Nemo.
I play it at fucking Jukebox Heroes gigs, and those kids go fucking insane.
Because it's still fresh.
So
I'm talking about 2 years.
I think it'll be fine.
I just think they're going to play the shit out of it on Disney and Netflix, and I mean, I think
Yes,
they're going to put it in
will.
such heavy rotation before it's released that
they are smart. They know how to market their shit,
Yeah.
and they know how to get people excited. So
Yep.
Star Wars.
So here we go with Star Wars. They showed a rollout of the model that's going to serve as the theme park, the Star Wars theme park. It now officially has a name. It is called Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. So that is going to be the name of the theme park.
Had they named the planet yet?
It's called Galaxy's Edge because the reason why is the place that you're going to is a spaceport that is on the outskirts of the galaxy.
Gotcha.
So that's
They're
the reason.
Deep Space Nine, basically.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, if the Outer Rim territories is what it's known in Star Wars, and you hear that mentioned in the movies a couple of times, and Clone Wars and Rebels if you watch those things. I mean, you can't help to say that, man. It's impressive. I mean, what they've rolled out is unreal. They say they're going to hire costumed actors to walk around as aliens. It's going to be a fully immersive experience to where it almost has like a choose-your-own-adventure kind of thing. You walk in there, and there's certain elements of the park where you can say, okay, well, look, I want to work as either someone from the First Order or someone from the Resistance. And they give you storylines that go throughout the park that operate at certain attractions, which is really cool.
That's
so
surreal.
It makes you part of the Star Wars galaxy. They also announced that in Florida they're going to be opening a full Star Wars themed hotel that's going to serve for part of that park.
So yeah, and you could. That's the choose your own adventure sort of thing, where I think it's like $800 or $900 to do this choose your own adventure, and you stay in the hotel, you have missions, and you have all this other kind of stuff where you go to the parks and you do these things, and it's, you know, you get. I think you get a costume, but I maybe you don't. But it's definitely the room, the adventure, the parks, the whole 9 yards, and you are.
They showed the concept art for like one of the lobbies.
I went in.
It looks like a full fucking like battle strategy room from like The Empire Strikes Back. They got it's holograms and all kinds of shit. It looks fucking awesome, dude.
The thing that struck me when Chris usually gives us leads by like sending us links and stuff on our phone, and I was looking at the mock-ups of Star Wars Land or whatever, you know, the Galaxy's Edge, and I was just like, they may as well be showing concept art from Phantom Menace. It looks like a city. Like I couldn't get an idea of scale and shit because it's completely otherworldly. There's no you know, how big is that thing versus that thing and what. You know.
Yeah, and I don't know how, because it's all going to take. Well, at least in Florida, it's going to be in whatever Hollywood Park. I don't know how big that's going to be in scale to the park.
Right.
You know,
It looks pretty big. I mean,
It
does.
looks
Looks-
pretty
it
big,
looks
but
like a
when you
city.
look at when I remember like concept art for a lot of other things that they would show. Like, for example, the new stuff they added to Disney World, like the Beauty and the Beast and the Snow White. I remember seeing the concept art for that, going, "Wow, that's going to be huge." And then when you actually go, it's not that big. It's sort of
okay.
it's immersive, but it's once you get around, it's like, oh, that's not really that big
well,
at all.
I got a buddy of mine I went to high school with who's an actual construction manager for Disney, and he said he's working on Galaxy's Edge right now. And
No
I haven't
shit.
had a chance to bullshit with
Oh.
him, but maybe he can just answer how big it actually
Yeah.
is.
In
So,
comparison,
yeah.
of
I'll
the
hit him
parks,
up and
yeah.
I'll hit him up and see if he
Totally.
can give me any nuggets. He might be NDA signed out the ass, but
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, saying how big it is not. I don't know.
well, I want to move to the last one here because Star Wars, even though it was very victorious with the introduction of Mark Hamill as a legend and also him introducing the pretty fucking awesome 3-minute trailer of the behind the scenes footage of The Last Jedi. I mean, this is something you can see online, The Last Jedi footage. You can go check it out. They released that behind the scenes trailer. But man, no mention of Han Solo. Not a whisper about Han Solo. And another thing, too, that was heavily rumored is that Kathleen Kennedy was going to kind of release the whole slate of what was going to happen for future movies after 2019.
Comic-Con.
Not a whisper. They're not there. They're not going to
They're
Comic-Con.
not there at all.
At all.
You don't think? You don't think they're going to come in and be
Scott,
like,
they said, we are not at Comic-Con this year. We are doing Marvel and Star Wars at D23. We have no presence at... Now, they'll have presence for comic books and shit like that, but there's not going to be a Hall H panel for Star Wars.
all right.
They're not doing it.
Huh.
In fact, they're saying that Comic-Con this year will probably be the year for DC because they're going to be able to really capitalize on a lot of shit because there's stuff that's not there. Marvel's not there. Star Wars is not there.
Right.
So they
So,
can draw a lot of stuff
Let me
in.
ask you this question, because I just have to, even though you just told me no. So, like, Miss Marvel, Black Panther, they're not going to do anything at Comic-Con, you don't think,
No.
for that? No.
They just did it all at D23. They just blew the fucking ceiling off with a. They just blew the ceiling
know,
off
and
with an Avengers
And
Infinity War trailer.
I saw the Disney schedule through, 2020, where they listed all the movies all the way out. And they showed all the, when the movies were coming out. But I just feel like, a Miss Marvel movie poster maybe.
Well, I
or-
mean, that movie comes out in 2019. I mean, you're still 2 years away. From what my understanding is, they haven't even began principal photography on that movie.
All right.
Yeah, but I'm assuming they're going to wait until she shows up in the Infinity Wars, and then that's when they're going to.
Yeah,
Go
I mean,
apeshit with.
yeah, I mean, dude, they're gonna. I mean, it's gonna be a. I'm not worried about Marvel's marketing program. They know.
I'm not either. I
They
was
know what they're
actually
doing.
I was actually just kind of hinting at maybe we'll get a surprise, like like Marvel came, like Disney came in and literally broke the internet with Avengers, and they might surprisingly show up at Comic-Con and say, we're gonna take over if you don't mind. We know you guys have a thing going on, but we're just gonna come in and show this and break the internet again.
Well, I think D23, based on everything that I read and looked at all the stuff they did, I thought it was really good. They gave you
I did
small.
too.
They gave you small bites of everything, without giving away everything.
I feel like
I mean-
they underdelivered on Star Wars. I was sort of shocked.
I don't know.
I think they did.
I felt that you felt they underdelivered.
Fucking A.
Yes.
I felt the same way until I watched that behind the scenes thing, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be good.
Oh, bullshit, John. That behind the scenes thing. Go watch that thing again.
I watched it.
Man, let me tell you.
Twice.
What's fucking awesome about that thing?
The real creatures.
Oh god, dude.
Yeah.
They're awesome.
The puppetry is fucking incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, it didn't really give you anything.
No.
But I mean, I think the thing with it is though is that 3-minute clip I think gave excitement. It was a damage control clip basically. I mean, that's what it really came down to. No Han Solo. Seems to me they should have at least brought Ron Howard out there and said, everything's on track,
Yeah.
everything's rocking
Nothing
and
is
rolling.
fucked here, dude.
Everything's whipping ass. They could have did that, and I think the other thing too is that Kathleen Kennedy coming out and announcing things, but you got this bad press that's hovering over this franchise right now. So if she comes out and says, okay, well, starting in 2020, we're going to do X, Y, and Z, you're going to have the press sitting there the whole time kind of muttering themselves, Yeah, I wonder who they're going to get in fire for that fucking project. They
Oh,
can't
yeah.
even get this under control.
Well, look, it's a 3-minute clip of which a minute and a half is people going, "This Star Wars is going to be great. There's going to be all kind of twists and no fucking shit." I'm not expecting John Boyega to go, "Yeah, this blows. I don't know what I'm doing. I got to call my agent." You know, like we know it's going to be a puff piece, and I see a bunch of puppets and stuff. This is all shit I expect. That movie's coming out in less than 6 months. Another fucking trailer. How fucking hard would that have been to make?
We're going to get it. We're gonna, that
Yeah,
tho-
we're
that trailer. Well, I mean, those trailers don't come until the end of summer.
Why do we need another Star Wars trailer?
You
You're
only
going
had
to the
one.
movie
There was
anyway.
like
Because Scott
five.
hates trailers, so you can't go off of what he says. Scott,
Yeah, but I also like that behind the scenes thing. I think that was suitable. I think that was a suitable trailer. That's suitable. Show that 50 times.
you remember how they
Yeah.
used to do those radio contests where they sit there, they play a second of a song, and you had to guess what it was and all that shit? That's
Yeah.
what
Right.
Scott wants out of trailers.
That's what
It's
I
just
want.
More or less.
one flash that's indistinguishable. Whop, Star Wars.
Well,
Done.
let me ask you this. Do you think it would have been as cool if they showed an Avengers behind-the-scenes clip with Robert Downey going, "Oh, this is going to be great.
They already
It's gonna
showed
be
that.
amazing."
They already
Yeah.
showed that.
What
So I'm
I'm
saying, like, the fucking trailer. Give me the goods,
Yeah, but they
man.
showed a trailer for the movie. We already saw an episode 8 trailer. We already saw it.
Yeah, but how many A New Hope did we see? There were at least 4.
yeah.
And they were fucking awesome.
Look, the argumentative of content or whatever, this is what it comes down to is Disney has a fucking PR problem right now when it comes to Star Wars. And it's really unfortunate because I think that if things would have gone smooth with Han Solo, we would know a lot more shit than what we actually do.
Right.
They would have gave you some more nuggets, and I think that's what it would have really been. I think that they would have showed you probably that this behind-the-scenes Star Wars thing, they would have probably showed you a nice group of still images from Han Solo showing what the characters look like and all
Yeah.
that different stuff.
How fucking hard would that have been?
And they would have also announced a future slate because she said that at Celebration. She said, we're going to announce during the summertime what's going on. And everybody assumed it was D23.
What about the Filoni? All the Disney XD shows. Nothing there. No
I didn't really
teasers
see
there?
anything
I didn't
on the.
see anything
I didn't
either.
see anything on the animated. I didn't see anything from the animated panel about that. I mean, the only other love that I really saw from Star Wars, they had a new feature that was called One Up, and the One Up was was all of the Disney video game properties coming out, like
Yeah.
from the whole company, and
Yeah.
Battlefront 2, which Battlefront 2 was featured in that. So
It's just a very unusual kind of, limp, impotent presentation
for Star
Wars.
No,
of all
John, I
things.
agree with you. I mean, I enjoyed the behind the scenes footage. I thought it was great.
did
I did.
So did I.
I did. I mean, it was what I had to settle for, but I was like, okay, the trailer should be coming out any minute now.
I also think I was maybe it's too much. Just think about Disney for a second as a whole. They destroyed everyone with Avengers. Maybe it was too much to destroy everyone with Star Wars. Part of that, and part of the fact of what Chris said about damage control. Maybe they just thought, look, we can't give everybody everything. We just gave them this.
we don't have heart attack insurance.
No, we don't.
Yeah, we don't have heart attack insurance, but also we're dealing with a PR disaster. So
Right.
let's draw it back and let's play the safe hand and give them some nuggets from
Well, I mean,
episode 8.
Disney.
Here's the thing. By giving such a lackluster performance, I actually think they've amplified speculation of them they've made the problem worse, in my opinion.
In my opinion, I am of the opinion of nothing is fucked here. I think that
No,
movie
nothing's
will
fucked.
come out on time and it will be
Yep.
as planned. If it's good, if it's supposed to be good, it'll be good. I don't think it's going to be bad because reshoots and this and then. I don't think it's got a problem. I think it's
Episode 8's going to be a fucking great movie. Han Solo right now is a toss-up, but I can tell you, even though...
I'm saying Han Solo's not a toss-up.
No, it's going to be a good movie.
You may not
I mean,
like
Oh
it,
no,
but
no!
I think it's gonna.
I think Han Solo has a potential of being very good. But and honestly, even though they're going through a lot of bad shit right now with publicity, this actual bad publicity is going to do them a favor.
Yeah.
In the long run,
I agree.
because people want to sit there and. I want to go see what could have been so I can cry about the Lego guys not making the fucking movie. Or I want to see if it actually is bad. Or I want to see if they can actually make a good Han Solo movie. dude, I guarantee you that movie's going to rack $1 billion, and that movie even has the potential of outgrossing Rogue One, which did big numbers.
If it gets well reviewed by people like us, yeah, it'll do amazingly well.
Right.
I mean, right?
Especially Rotten Tomatoes. So
Right.
yeah, there it is. All right, guys, we got anything to add?
Nothing.
Ditto. Nothing.
All right, so there's the news. There's your coverage of D23. We appreciate you guys listening. Just a couple of quick PSAs. Jump over to PPVGuys.com. Check out our previous episodes. You can also now check us out on YouTube.
I have to apologize. I haven't put this past show on YouTube. I kind of fell down on the.
All right, well, he's going to get YouTube updated this week so you can check it. So, look, when you go on, of course, the last one, look, iTunes, we ask for you to subscribe, and if you're a true fan of this show, make sure that you write us a review. You could also do that on YouTube for us. Give us a thumbs up on the video. Write us a review. 5 stars. We appreciate it. What else? Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, PPV Guys. Check it out. End scene.